Lesson 3, topic, factoring quadratics. Learning target, I can solve a quadratic equation by factoring. Factors, we talked about this last lesson, but are numbers that multiply to make a product. So we can factor 32 in multiple different ways. 32 can be 2 times 16. 32 could be 1 times 32. 32 could be written as 4 times 8. 32 could also be written as 2 times 2 times 2 times 4. We got lots of different options. 48 we could rewrite as 4 times 12. 48 could also be 2 times 24. 48 could be written as 3 times 19. Excuse me, not 19, 16. So many different ways to factor a number. We've got different options. So instead of factoring 2 terms, we're factoring 3 terms. So we have x squared plus 11x plus 18. So when we factor, we are going to use this tool that is called a factor box. You see it right down here. Now I give you 2 for each problem because sometimes our first attempt isn't correct and we have to try it again, which is totally normal and totally okay. So we have the term x squared plus 11x plus 18. So we are going to take this and we're going to write it right here in this diagonal. And we're going to use basically the backwards box method. So we want to figure out what numbers would go here and here and what numbers would go here and here to write this in factored form. So the first one is pretty easy because x squared can be made by doing x times x. So we're just going to start with that. X times x gives us x squared. So now what we need is we need 2 numbers that are going to multiply to make this 18 because this number times this number is going to give us that box right there, 18. So we need 2 numbers that are going to multiply to make 18. But also, these 2 boxes are going to come from those 2 numbers, and we need them to add up to be 11. We need those 2 numbers to add to make 11. So then we just start listing our factors of 18. Well, 18 could be 1 and 18, 2 and 9, 3 and 6. And we just check them to see which ones would add to make 11. Well, 1 plus 18 is 19, 2 plus 9 is 11, 3 plus 6 is 9. 2 and 9 seems like it's going to be the correct one. So then all we have to do is check it. So I'm going to do it over here. I'm going to do x and 2, x plus 2. They're going to be positive. And then x plus 9. Let's see what happens. X times x is x squared. X times 2 is 2x. So again, we're just using that box method. X times 9 is 9x. 9 times 2 is 18. What's 9x plus 2x? 11x. Did that work out? Is that what we wanted? X squared, 11x, 18. X squared, 11x, 18. It is what we wanted. Now we have one last step, you guys. We can't just leave it in the factor box. We do need to actually write it out in factored form. So our factored form would be x plus 2 times x plus 9. So right there, that would be your answer. All right, let's try another one. We have x squared, that goes in that first box, minus 10x, that goes in the circle, plus 9. So again, x squared is going to be made with x times x. And then we have those last 2. So again, we need something that multiplies to make 9, but we also want them to add to make 10. Excuse me, negative 10. Please be mindful of those negatives. So our factors of 9, we have 1 times 9, and we have 3 times 3. So if I look at 3 times 3, 3 plus 3 is going to give me 6. 3 minus 3 is going to give me 0. So I'm going to take that off the table. So I know I need to use the numbers 1 and 9. So I'm just going to put 1 here, 9 here, make them positive. We have 1 times x is 1x, 1 times 9 is 9x, or x times 9, excuse me, is 9x. 1 times 9 is 9. And then we check, is 1x plus 9x negative 10x? No, because 1x plus 9x is positive 10x. So we're close, we're just not negative. So then if we think about it, if we made both of those negative, negative 1x and negative 9x would make negative 10x. So we're going to change this from x plus 1 to x minus 1, x plus 9 to x minus 9. X times x is x squared. And then negative 1 times negative 9, a negative times a negative still gives us a positive, so we end up meeting what we need. We got that positive 9 here, and we have the negative 10 in the middle. So our factors are x minus 1 times x minus 9. So this unit kind of culminates everything we've done so far this year, that combining like terms, that factoring, that working with our positive, negative numbers. This is where it all comes together, and you see why we've been working so hard on these all year long. So we're going to put together what we did this lesson and last lesson by finding the solutions, or also they're called roots, by factoring. So we're going to factor this trinomial like we've been doing for the last 2 examples, but then you can see it's an equation equals 0, so then we're going to apply that zero product property that we were working on last lesson. So let's break it down. First step is let's factor it. We got to do x squared plus 3x minus 18. So now we need 2 numbers that multiply to make negative 18, but they also need to add to make positive 3. So factors of 18, we have 1 and 18, we have 2 and 9, and we have 3 and 6. So the only way that would make 3 would be the 3 and the 6, because I could subtract them. 3 and 6, so it would be really 6 minus 3, which would be 6 plus negative 3. 6 plus negative 3 would be 3. So that means I need to use a 6 and a negative 3, and if we check, 6 times negative 3 does make negative 18. So let's test it out. X plus 6, and then x minus 3. X times x is x squared. X times 6 is 6x. X times negative 3 is negative 3x. Negative 3 times 6 is negative 18, and 6x minus 3x makes that positive 3x. Awesome, now we have our factors. We write that in factored form. X plus 6 times x minus 3 equals 0. And now we just have to find our solutions. What does x need to be to make that true? We split it up into our 2 equations, which we were doing last time. We have x plus 6 equals 0, and we have x minus 3 equals 0. I would like you to solve those 2 problems and let me know what your answer is in Edpuzzle.